Greetings, Warlords. Rodge here. Welcome to SAGA Thursday, the show all about the skirmish miniatures game from Studio Tomahawk. I'm your host, and I'm joined by Monty today. Monty, how's it going?
Excellent, Raj. How about yourself?
Good. First video of the new year. So this is coming out on the 2nd, I think, but we're recording on December 31st, taking time out of our busy New Year's Eve schedules to record a video for you all. So this one will be a fun one. We've done this before, but it's been a few years since we've really tackled it. But this one will be kind of a year in review for our Saga hobby in general, and then looking forward to what we're going to get up to for next year. So does that sound good, Monty?
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think that should be a fun time. Now, there is some housekeeping stuff to take care of here, but if folks can hold on, I promise that there will be a Age of Chivalry spoiler somewhere in there. So don't skip this section just quite yet. All right, so there's a little bit of news, and that is Monty, on January 12th. What's happening that day? Do you know? This is a test.
Is that the Age of Chivalry drop?
Actually,
Maybe.
yeah, that is technically correct. I believe Gripping Beast is shipping the Age of Chivalry books on January 12th. Just off the top of my head, I believe that is what I heard, but that is not what I'm talking about. So I believe those books got held up due to the Saga dice, and people ordered both dice and books, so it just made sense to hold them. So everybody's going to be getting their hands on the book before our next monthly session, hopefully, but that is not what I was referring to initially, because January 12th is Adepticon sign-up day. So registration opens and you can sign up for all the Saga events. It's tough looking back a month. Have we discussed the Adepticon Saga? What's going to be there this year? I can't remember.
If we did it all, it would have to be a super light touch. But I don't know that we did.
Okay. Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt to do a little refresher. So on Thursday, I'll be running Age of Chivalry. So this is 100% just the Age of Chivalry book. So that should be a lot of fun. Everybody using new war bands, and nobody's had the book for that long. And, just some madness will ensue, I'm sure. Should be a fun time. On Friday, the Age of Magic is back, Monty.
Yep.
So we missed it last year, but we're bringing it back for Friday. This is being run by the Michigan Saga guys. So the TO there is Jake, and this is his baby. I know he's got lots of prizes in mind. He's 3D printing like a madman, so it looks like he's got a lot of goodies to give away, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
On Saturday, DJ is running the team tournament, and this will be open to all historical war bands, and that nothing new. Except there'll be even more madness, Monty, with Chivalry war bands in the mix as well. How many books are 1, 2? I think it was 5 books before, so now it'll be 6 books, 80 or 90 factions. I don't.
That's a heavy load.
That's a lot. Maybe not that many factions, but certainly quite a bit. And yeah, it was funny last year just to see the variety and, just the different ages being mixed up, and, something powerful in one age has some weird little counter in the other ages, and they happen to run into them, So that should be fun. And then on Sunday, we've got the Age of Vikings and Invasions mixed once again. Our old buddy Scott DeRung is running that one. And you can take a mercenary unit. That's different from last year. And I think Old Friends and New Enemies. I can't remember if they were available last year, but they'll be available for this year. So that should be a good time. Should it not, Monty?
It would be excellent.
Okay. Are you planning on Adepticon this year?
I am into Adepticon for sure. Thursday and Friday. Might be able to stick around for Sunday too.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Monty, you gotta. You
Yeah,
gotta.
right?
All right. So, yeah, don't miss that sign up. In addition to that, I forgot to mention there is a mega battle going on. I believe it's Friday night this year. Apologies, but DJ's running that one. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I believe it's Invasions, and it's some kind of Britain battle. I can't think off the top of my head. I forgot to prepare this aspect of my video, but check that out. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. All right. Now, Monty, I have a Patreon account. Do I not?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So I'll usually mention thank yous and stuff at the end of the video, but once a year, I do make an update to how things work. And so this is the annual update to inform people that it exists and what's going on and what it offers. So first up, as the levy, you can get in for $2 a month. You get ad-free videos, and plenty of people do this, and there's no problems. I appreciate every shekel thrown my way. But most people come in at the warrior level. So $3 a month gets you ad-free videos. There is a Patreon-only video that comes out every month. There's early videos. So the Age of Chivalry preview video came out early for patrons, so they didn't have to wait until Thursday. There's behind-the-scenes info. So I just released a video today talking about Age of Magic and my work on it. Monty, did you?
I did.
You listen?
Yeah,
you listened to it?
Of course I did. Jumped right in.
All right. Yeah, this was just a couple hours ago. So, you can tell you're retired. You're retired, man.
Or even if I wasn't, I'd find a way to squeeze that in over lunch.
Yeah. So there's that stuff. The patrons get a heads up on paint contests, usually 2 or 3 or 4 days in advance, and people only have 25, 26, 27, 28 days to complete it. So that's a 10% advantage. There's Patreon only offers. Sometimes I do Saga Sticks runs or the pizza party at Adepticon, or just frequently is random junk from my hobby shelf that needs to go somewhere. You get access to the Patreon only section of the Discord, and you can participate in the Warband challenge. And if that's not enough, you get a one-on-one video chat with me where we can talk about Saga and hobby. So that is for the Warriors. Monty, that sounds like a decent deal for $3.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that is basically the same, though, as what we've done in previous years. Moving on to the Hearthguard, they get everything that the Warriors get, like I mentioned. They get usually some additional offers. Like if I'm going to do free shipping on stuff, I'll usually say, if you're a Hearthguard or whatever, I'll waive the shipping on this. So there's that. The one-on-one video chat comes an annual thing. We can do that every year. And then the big thing this year is the monthly shields.
Okay.
So you must have seen this, Monty.
Yep.
Okay, so picked up a 3D printer over the summer, and naturally I had to dabble in the 3D sculpting, and I created some shields for myself. So these were shields that I printed out and I used them, and I kind of got the bug now. And so this is something I'm going to be offering to our Hearthguard patrons every month. So this is a new monthly gift. And so these are basically, what would you call these shields, Monty? Like embossed? Is that the right word?
I think that's the right term. Yeah, okay. I like it.
Yeah, so these are shields that have a design already built into them, and you use it as a template to paint the shield itself. And, so it is 3D, but you can't really tell that it's 3D. I've shown probably 15 people now my shields, and nobody was able to discern that they're actually 3D printed. They just thought that I painted them super well, So I'm doing this. I think it does fill a kind of a niche or a need in the market. So, most of the time when you buy a shield, it's blank, so you have to paint it yourself or get the little big man shield transfers. So those are great. I mean, Monty, I think you've done both approaches, right?
I have.
Yeah, I've done both too, and they both work. But now this is kind of throwing another option out there where if you want to, you can print these out and paint these shields according to the design, like a paint by numbers kind of thing. So I'm going to be doing kind of different designs each month. You're looking at these Dark Age shields. So the first month or two will be these. And, these are for myself as much as for anybody. So I'm going to be, my Irish Monty, they need some shields. So I'm going to be doing Irish ones, Pictish ones. And then I think after that, we'll do some votes. So the Hearthguards are going to get a batch of these shields every month. And they're going to come, you can print them individually or you can print them 4 at a time. And if you print them 4 at a time, they're meant to be like painted on the sprue. And once you trim those supports, there's one support kind of holding it in the back.
Okay.
And so you can print you print them, but you can paint the shields, the front and the back, and there's no, you don't have to clip off something and then repaint it later because it's the place that's the shield is attached to is right where you hold the hand of the model, the grip.
Yep.
So you're just going to glue that to the figure anyways. So I painted, I printed these, I tested them, I used them on my warband. I painted, I don't know, probably 50 of these things at one time. They go quick, but even if it just takes a minute, and you have like 50 of them, that's like an hour to do a base coat or something. So the end result, though, is pretty good. So we're looking at my latest warband, kind of the Bright Age Warriors. And every single one of those has one of these shields. So they're thoroughly tested, and I think they're pretty cool. And if you want to get in on that, you just got to be a Hearthguard or higher on the Patreon, and they'll be shipped out at the end of the month. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Monty, would you ever use these?
I'm very intrigued. I have some ideas, so I would like to try them.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll send you somebody. All right. So the last thing for Hearthguards is the annual Warband Giveaway. So every month you're a Hearthguard or higher. And this is what Monty's rubbing his hands for.
Right.
You get an entry into the giveaway. And so this year, if you were in for 2024, you're going to get a crack at the Last Romans warband here. So Monty, I'll be saying goodbye to these boys probably later in January or early February here. I'll give everybody the details on that. But so you have a chance at a fully painted warband for 2025. Instead of one that I've painted, it's going to be Zach. Wow, so he is the guy who's frequently in battle reports with me. So you can tell he's got some nicely painted models. He's got Vikings, Ordenstadt, and Spartans painted up so far. So it's probably going to be one of those. But details will be on that towards the end of next year. But if you want a chance at it, get in early and often. All right. So 2 more tiers to go. We'll go quick now. So the Lifeguard, they get everything that the Hearthguard gets, but they also get a monthly gift from a friend of the show. So this is new as well. So the friend of the show this month is Marcos over at Reconquer Designs. So Monty, have you seen his new Age of Chivalry compatible crossbowmen?
I have not, but I've seen his other work, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, so that's his January release, and these are perfect for almost any faction. in Age of Chivalry. And Marcos is a great guy. He's helped me out on more than one occasion. These models are great. He's also given away like basically an entire like medieval cottage, complete with workers and barrels, and I think it's a tannery. Is that right? Tanning stuff. Not quite the tanning that we're used to, Monty. I know you're down at the tanning spot twice a week.
No, and I don't know that we would want to be at a medieval tanning spot. The smell would be quite terrible.
That's what I've heard. So Marcos is giving everybody at Lifeguard level and higher this month a character model, Henry, from I think an earlier release, but his name is Henry of Trastamara, Henry II. So he was one of the kings over there during those turbulent times. So he is a legendary unit, Monty, in Age of Chivalry.
Oh, wow.
So he costs 1 point. He has standard Warlord stats, but he generates 2 Saga dice instead of 1. So that's pretty cool. His special rules are kind of dependent on which warband he is in. So he fought with the free companies for a while, just kind of one of those marauders up there in France during those times. And he can also be the King of Castile, or be fielded in a Castilian warband.
Okay.
And when he's in a Castilian warband, you can field foot Hearthguard and foot warriors, but they count as if they were mounted for battle board abilities. So that's really interesting because that battle board, if we go back to that preview video, they use the evasion kind of basic Saga ability, which is only used on mounted units, and it's used to, like, if I remember correctly, do like a move away after combat or something like that. So you can kind of take foot guys and kind of do the same thing with it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If he leads the free companies, they have their own, I'm confused here, but they have their own ability called evasion, and he can use that with a non-mercenary unit. So he can be fielded in 2 different battle boards, and it does slightly 2 different things. Now, his main special rule is after deployment, he can choose a mercenary unit in the warband, and they count as loyal for the rest of the game.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at handgunners, Monty, crossbowmen, English archers, all loyal on top of their special abilities. This should be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
There is a downside, though. Non-mercenary units in your warband suffer a fatigue every time the loyal unit ends an activation within very short of them.
Oh, wow.
So apparently they don't like these guys for whatever reason.
That's great.
That's funny. But thanks to Marcos at Reconquer. Everybody at the Lifeguard level is going to get that figure this month. And finally, the Warlord. Not much to say here. They get everything that everybody else got. We have regular online meetups with the Warlords. They get the Raj The Bard STL file that actually Marcos put together. And I've yet to field him. I've got a couple painted, but I've never actually used him in battle. So I gotta rectify that, Monty.
Agree.
I sense a battle report coming on with Raj The Bard. But yeah, so basically, if you're a Warlord, you just really like me and want to help out. So I appreciate all those Warlords. So that is it for the Patreon stuff. So I'll just say thank you to Sean, Patrick, Mitchell, Scott, Frank, Britt, DJ, and Robin, and the rest of the patrons. You guys are amazing. You guys are what make 52 episodes of SAGA Thursday possible. So
nice.
All right. That was a mouthful, Monty. Let's get on to our main topic for today, which is the year in review. Monty, we'll take a look at some pictures here shortly, but just in general, how did your year go for Saga hobby and playing?
Yeah. Is there ever a bad year of Saga? I suppose if you don't get enough games of Saga in, maybe that would be a bad one. But it was another good year. Some events, Thimblewinter. We had our local Feast for Ravens Part 2. We had a little bit of in-person game, but a lot of my gaming took place in Tabletop Simulator, which is really quite nice. So yeah, a good amount of Saga played, and everybody's been waiting with bated breath for Age of Chivalry. And so all in all, 2024 was a good year at Saga.
Yeah, I agree. I got to Adepticon. I got out there to Ohio for a 2-day event. I got down to Kansas City for the 2-day event down there. So I don't see 2025 getting any better than that. And I honestly, I know I'm in for Adepticon, but I'm not going to be sure about any of the other events. You know, the local stuff, sure, can swing that, but
yeah,
a little doubtful about next year if I can repeat the majesty of this year's gaming events. How did you do on the hobby front, my friend? So I'm looking at a picture of, is this another Mutata Wheel Warband mod?
Yes, that was version 5 or 6. I just missed them too much, so I had to do that again. I think it was also a good year, a little bit of a slowdown just because I have a deep bench and I haven't been selling stuff off quite as fast. So sometimes as I look over there and, you know, I mean, I have a warband or two that hasn't, you know, seen the table but once or maybe no times. Then the fire to tear into another warband and paint it up is a little bit tame. So I did, I flipped one recently. I'd like to flip one or two more and then make some room for some painting in 2025.
Awesome. Yeah. So what was the impetus? You just couldn't resist? Was this for Adepticon or another
it was
event?
for Thimblewinter.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah.
I was kind of torn. I was thinking about I was thinking about Crusaders, but gosh, I was just looking at something online, and I think it was the Artisan Moors, and they're so pretty.
Yeah.
They're so easy to paint up. Really, one of my favorite lines of all the lines I've painted, and I think I have painted them at least once before. But I had an idea in my mind to strike out in another direction, and when I got into it, it was one of those ones where I picked them because of the models. I picked them because the board is fun, and I I think I hold on to these. Like after 6 times, I don't think I want to flip them again. They can be Moors, they could be Mutts. I think I keep them.
All right. Time will tell.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
on record here.
Right?
January 2nd, 2025. Monty's making his stand.
Right? Is it like all New Year commitments? They go by the wayside?
Yeah, they say the second Friday is when people give it up. So that would be January 10th. You can contact Monty and make him an offer, and he'll probably accept. All right. So I did not have anything to paint for Thimblewinter. I was just using the Heathens, but for Adepticon, I had quite a bit to do. So the first thing was fleshing out and finishing the Carthaginian warband. So I don't think I had some stuff for Saga Storm, but it really wasn't quite complete. So I had to paint up like another 12 Numidian horsemen, finish the chariots, although they're still not finished, but they were more finished than what they were, and added some Greek dudes on foot for contingent. So probably painted three-ish points in 2024 to finish them up for Adepticon. And then later in the year, I painted up some Sam Knights. They're not in this picture of the box, but so now I got probably 7 or 8 points of Carthaginians, and there's just more stuff to add. I want to get the elephants and start working in some Gauls and some Spanish, Iberians and stuff. So I got a feeling this is just the start of a very large multi-battle board project.
Right.
But yeah, I basically finished them in 2024, though, at least the first version of them. All right, Monty, we are looking at what are these guys? They're a Dark Age, Irish, Danish.
Yes, Irish. Irish / with a little painting. It could be my Scots. I need some spears to go in there, long spears, and could also be foot Welsh. So kind of paint one, play multiple. But I wanted to do fighting Irish for our Saga Storm in the fall. And I had the models around for a long time. I mean, it's footsore. They're beautiful models. So have painted them before, but I just was like, for the event, I thought, aha, here's what I'll do. So painted them up. I think I told you that in the actual games with my friends, some of them who don't play Saga nearly as much as I do, I use no shooting abilities to be true to my fighting Irish. And it was a heck of a day. It was pretty wild and woolly, and I think everyone had fun.
Interesting. So I knew that you took the Danax Kure instead, to match your Warlord. I think he would have to take the Danax, right?
Yep.
So I've done that as well against the locals, but I would still use Monty. You're telling me that you don't want every 6 to count as 2 hits instead of 1 when you shoot? Are you kidding me?
Right. Hey, no one asked, and it was just something in my head on that day. As the day kind of went by, I leaned into like the bottom 2 abilities where the heroes in Hearthguard fight a little better. I think I used the defensive play, the cheap activation, but I didn't use it early, and then I was like, you know what? We just won't. We've got plenty of shots. We took plenty of shots, but it was really, resulted in some really interesting and wild and woolly finishes.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. And that actually does track. So if you are trying to use those heroes, and one of those is a 2 dice.
Yes.
Are they both a 2 dice?
They might both. They might both be 2 dice abilities.
Yeah. So I like those abilities.
Yes.
I like using heroes. I like being aggressive, but I had frequently found myself not able to didn't have the dice to use those abilities with basically the 3, 1 or 2 shooting abilities. You don't have the dice for both. So that's cool. Yeah. So that tracks. Yeah. If you're not going to spend it on shooting, spend it there. And if you're spending it there, you probably don't have it for shooting. So that's cool. I like the sound of that. That's an interesting way to do it. So, and I think you won all those games too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were close. I mean, really close. The first and the third one easily could have gone the other way. In fact, if not for like a wild number of saves in my last games, I was playing a friend with Anglo-Saxons, and he has really gotten better and better each time he gets to run them, and it was his 3rd game of the day. So if not for me making a wild number of saves down the stretch, I probably would have lost that game.
Wow,
but that's okay. That's okay.
That sounds right for Monty.
Yeah, it's a fun game day. That's the whole point. So
awesome. Do you still have these guys?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes,
all right,
I do.
Baby. All right. Moving on. For me, I've got some Irish as well. These are the Skittle Taste the Rainbow boys for Adepticon here, and they are built from Wargames Atlantic and Gripping Beast figures, the Dark Age Irish, Dark Age Welsh, Dark Age picked boxes, and the Wargames Atlantic Irish boxes. And I pilfered every pointy stick that I had in my bits box to give them enough javelins. And I used these for Adepticon. Did pretty well, but it was a speed project. So I probably assembled them over the early months of 2024, just watching TV with the kid or, whatever, just kind of low quality time. And then 2 weeks before Adepticon, I think I painted them all within 2 weeks as like a speed, kind of a speed challenge. So, very happy with how these turned out. I haven't played them much since Adepticon, but I've got them in the roster here and can break them out. if anyone makes me mad. Oh.
Right.
So yeah. So kind of 1.5 warbands completed. I'll say the Carthaginian were half, and this is a full warband. All right, Monty, we got a picture of some horsemen here. Are these Huns?
Those
what
are
these?
the Aventine Huns, yes. And if you look at the basing scheme, and if the basing scheme seems familiar, it's because it's your basing scheme.
I was gonna say, are these started at
they were
for Adepticon? So originally we're gonna do teams,
right?
But looks like you probably filled it out to the full.
Right. Finish it up.
6, 7, or 8 points.
It's 44 horsemen and 12 Germanic foot, so you could do that point of levy on foot. I did not paint 12 levy horsemen. That would be S tier. So.
Wow, that's true. If you're gonna paint 12, you might as well paint 24, Monty. Just go for the max of each.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Have you gotten to play these much? I don't think these have been to an event.
No.
Necessarily.
Yeah, so I broke them out with my buddy, who's a pretty casual Saga player. I let him play them. And when he was done, he goes, "Wow, these are really good." I said, "Yes, they are." I had another buddy who I need to make some space, so I threw up like a list. I'm like, I'm willing to move just about any warband I have. And of course, when he pinged me, he wanted the crown jewel, and I was like, he's a good buddy. I'm really thrilled. He's got them. They're in Seattle now, and so I've got a little more room in my collection for my next thing.
All right, another cavalry warband incoming for Monty here, right?
Yep. I got the room.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, these guys are amazing. And yeah, like the use of the yellow. The bow's yellow, or are they like a kind of like a bone or white color? Wood?
Gosh, this is embarrassing. I don't have the picture up.
You don't got the pickup.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I should know.
But yeah, they look good.
Thank you.
Right. In 2024, I got these Bright Age Warriors, which I took to the Grand Championships. I did a video on the Patreon talking about how they were painted and how they performed. And these were another assembled over a couple months just to kind of in spare downtime, watching movies that are the kids playing video games. And I'm watching him. And then painted in a frenzy. And yeah, probably 2.5 or 3 weeks on this one. I know I didn't quite get it done and took like another week maybe after the event to kind of finish painting the horsemen and stuff. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. They were nice and bright, but they do have lots of shadows. And I might go back and do some more work on them. But so another warband completed, another multi-warband. I can fill it out to Anglo-Saxons, or these will be my Welsh warband as well. I'll use Welsh for these instead of the Skittles. So yeah, another warband. So 2.5 warbands for me. Monty, we're looking, I think this is a placeholder image of a badass looking tower, but I think there's a warband attached to it.
There's a warband attached to it. It almost made it onto the table, but it got bumped. I've got Knights of St Lazarus, and so I'm doing the white and green shields. So the idea was to make it more interesting to look at on the tabletop, even to the point of maybe just like veering a little bit from history more into fantasy. I found, gosh, I gotta remember who it is now. Shoot. Fireforge. Fireforge does zombie peasants. So I cleaned them up a little bit.
Ooh,
I did
nice.
I did some normal head swaps, but the point is to show kind of like sores and damage and just like, I guess give the feel of leprosy. So I've got 2 points of leprosy peasants, and I've got 4 points of the knights, and I need some warriors, and then they'll be tabletop ready. So very close. The warriors need a little bit of work, and then they're ready for the tabletop.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a picture or two of what you've done, and they look really good. The white looks excellent on these, so you have to share some pics when you get them done. So you're saying that's about a half? We'll give you like a half warband?
Oh, it should be more like 3/4. I mean, Hearthguard. You get. So look, it was built off of the Gripping Beast. Oh shoot, it's an 8-pack of knights, and I think they're the poor fellows of something order. And I didn't use them for that. They basically are just like an 8-pack of knights. And I painted up the 8-pack. I won them at Fimbulwinter. Ta-da!
Oh,
so
nice.
see, this is your fault. Credit fault. So I painted
credit.
up,
I'll take it.
Right, credit. The 8 painted up so well. I was like, I love this. This looks so good. So I leaned into it, bought another 8-pack. Now I've got 16 mounted. I know that's probably too many mounted knights, but still.
No.
Yeah,
those are cool models. They're just a hunk of metal.
Beautiful.
Zach has them.
Yep.
Metal horses with big metal riders and flowing capes that are just solid metal. You know,
that's the one.
Yeah, but they look cool and they're fun to push them around. Like if you had a movement tray filled with those guys, it's very, very satisfying.
Exactly.
To push that unit around.
Yeah. So that got me started down the road, and it just really the Warriors. The idea with the Warriors is just some of those Crusader boards. You do want some Warriors to buff out your stuff, but certainly if I was going to run them as I don't know, there's 3 different Crusader type, but you could play with them with Ordenstadt. Once I get the Warriors done, you could play with them with the Baltic Crusaders or Levant Crusaders. There's a few options, and also, oh come on, there's one more. The one they updated, Milites Christi. I mean, they're technically Knights of St. Lazarus, so they're still a military order. Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
push
they
them under
definitely
that.
are. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you a 3/4 credit on that one. So
I'll
that's
take it.
3 3¾ warbands painted over the course of 2024. Anything we're missing there, Monty?
I think that's it.
Okay. For me, the only other thing I had going on was starting back in June. Yep, June. I've been painting up Warband for our Patreon Warband Challenge. So this is Age of Magic Warband for it's actually one of the factions in the new book, and well, I'll take photos of them. They'll be in the new book as well as like some photos somewhere in there. So I painted up about 3/4 of these up until October. I was successful and then kind of fell off the wagon a bit with preparation for the KC. And then in December here, if you're on the Patreon, you know I've basically done nothing but work on the Age of Magic book. So totally did not finish these. Today is technically the deadline. They're definitely not going to happen, but I painted about 3/4 of them, so I'm planning to finish them in January here. So I think I had 2.5 warbands painted, so I'll give myself another 3/4. So I'm up at 3 1/4 warbands painted for 2024. That's definitely a record for me. Are you usually painting 3 or 4 warbands a year, would you say, for yourself?
I think 4 would probably be the minimum, but some years 5 and 6.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can if I set my mind to it, I can crank them out. But yeah, 4 is a very, very good number. I mean, you get hard pressed once the boxes stack up, you get hard pressed to use them all.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't, for the Warband Challenge last year, I had a Muslim warband I painted up, and I've only used it, I think, once since I painted it up, just because, you can paint all this stuff, but that doesn't mean you have all the time to play all this stuff.
Yep.
But it is nice to have those options.
Yeah.
And in a pinch to be able to pull back and kind of play something new. So, yeah, that was a pretty good year for me. For 2025, Monty, what are your Saga plans? Do you really plan that far out? Maybe just through a Adepticon here or something?
Right.
What's it looking like for you?
Right. I figure so there's Adepticon. Everyone was really happy with Feast for Ravens 2. I figure we'll do a third one probably in the fall again. We'll do Saga Storm. Don't know the theme of that yet. For my actual painting plans, they're a little bit thin, but I have something in the hopper. I got an order from, oh my gosh, now I got to think of it, the Scottish miniature company. Oh gosh, they do.
So Claymore.
Thank you. That's it. Claymore Castings. That's it. Came in just a few days ago. I've looked at them, but I need to get them on bases, get some basing down on them. If it gets warm enough, prime them up, and I will be painting that up. So that's a lock, and that'll be my next thing.
Awesome. Glad to hear. I am in a similar position, I feel. I know for sure that I'm going to paint a Chivalry faction. I have the Perry Plastics. I have a Warband kind of already assembled that I could use. So I just have to decide if I want to use that, or, there's a lot of good 3D print options these days. Marcos is kicking out some pretty sweet stuff. So I have to decide what I'm going to do for that. So I know for Adepticon, I need to get a Chivalry Warband done. Even though I'm running the event, I'm not sure if I'm going to be the ringer yet or not. I'm trying to get a ringer lined up, but just in case, I need to have something ready to go. But other than that, that is the only, my mind can obviously change 6 or 9 months from now. But right now, the warbands I painted this year, that was a lot for me. And I still haven't really fully absorbed them, I would say, in games and whatnot. So I have no plans to do any new warbands for 2025, apart from the Chivalry stuff. What I do want to do is fill out those warbands. And, there's a video a couple months ago with JP talking about the multi-boards, play one, paint one, play many, as you have coined the term. So I want to work on those Irish. I haven't taken photos of them yet because I still haven't varnished them. So I might go back, varnish them, and I could touch them up, do some other stuff. I want to get new shields for them, 3D printed shields, the embossed ones with designs and stuff. What they have currently is just plain shields. So I know that was done in a rush. So I want to give them some nice shields. And then I want to fill it out with some cavalry. Get the crossbowmen in there for some picks, some pick power. Yep. So I can imagine myself doing some Wargames Atlantic 3D prints. I believe they have both of those as STL options. Want to fill out the Bright Age Warriors to be able to do an Anglo-Saxon horde if I choose fit. Just keep that on the table. If anybody is threatening me, Monty, I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to sick it on them. And then do some levy for that as well. Some archers to go with the additional spear levy. And then kind of do some different Hearthguard options for that. I like what DJ is doing. He's kind of doing generic warriors and levy. And then for Hearthguard, if it will be like a multi-use warband, he's doing different Hearthguard for those warbands. So he'll have if he's playing Franks, he'll have guys that really, look like Franks, or what we perceive to be Franks with their little hair and stuff, versus like a Roman warband, you'd have like really Roman looking Hearthguard, and a Roman looking Warlord compared. But your warriors and stuff might look the same. So I'm looking at that. I will say the Heathen, Monty, the Great Heathen Army is almost done. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna pull the plug on it. So what I want to add is 12 more warriors, which will give me 5 points of warriors, just with no sword and board.
Yep.
So that's enough for me for the Vikings or whatever warband I want to run. So 12 warriors and the shield maidens are all that's left. And then I'll still play the warband, but I'll be like retiring it from the painting table. I'm not going to add anything else to it. The method I used to paint, I'm happy with it, but it's really labor intensive. You know, at the time it was the best I could do. But I've learned quite a bit since then, just about painting. You know, it's funny. I've been painting. You know, I started when I was 12.
Wow.
So that's 30 years of painting. But even still, like 5 years ago, I've learned so much more than what I do now, which is kind of weird to think about. So, I think that'll be. I think I'm going to make that some kind of Patreon event or something. The official finishing of the Heathen army, and then I'll just call it there, and I'll have a nice looking warband. Now, Monty, there's a danger there. I've sold warbands in the past, so I don't want to turn this into a Monty Mutt situation. Right. I'm going to try to hold on to these guys. And then the last thing, so I don't want to really do warbands. I want to finish what I got, and then I want to work on terrain stuff. So I want to, for this Age of Magic warband, I'm going to need really cool terrain to put in the background for the photos. I want cool terrain to match the Skittle Irish. I want terrain that can kind of match the Bright Age warriors. So I'm going to build some terrain that can go on display boards and look good, or it is also functional as terrain. It can be used in battles. So I think that's going to be my focus in 2025, kind of a year of terrain and tying up loose ends.
Awesome. Very, very noble, very good goals. And Raj, you're very methodical. So I'm sure your goals, once you've kind of put them down and plotted them out, you'll check the box and get them all done.
Yeah, I mean, once the Skittles are fleshed out to 2 or 3 warbands, the Bright Age warriors can be fleshed out to 2, 3, or 4 or 5 warbands. I mean, that's enough. Like, I've still got the Muslim warband that I just played once. I mean, that could be fleshed out as well into additional warbands. So I'm really good. I don't. If I start something new, I feel it will be like a mistake. Maybe I'll be pretty excited, and but I definitely will have enough warbands that I don't need to work on anything new for a year or two. So that's kind of where I'm at. Monty, would you ever do another Age of Magic faction? Is that your jam? Or
I could, although okay. I would have to see if my friends have a problem with square bases.
That's no worries.
Okay.
I know some of your guys are probably trying to get you into Warhammer.
I paint
stuff, Old World.
That's exactly it. You remember you did the skit about Old World? Well, I have orcs and goblins. I got quite a bit of them, and but I'm really excited about the fact that they'll double in Age of Magic. And I don't want to. I got to be real careful because some of my buddies have like chitter chattered about some of the things. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do X, and they're like, oh, that might work well in Age of Magic too. And I'm like, well, that's music to my ears. Again, paint one, play many.
All right, baby. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Like said in the Patreon video, after Chivalry here, it does seem like the Age of Magic book, the second volume, will be the next one out, hopefully sometime next year. So we'll get some more games in then. But all right, well, I think we've hashed out last year. We've got some ideas for the upcoming year.
Yep.
We do have a little something called the paint contest. It's back, Monty, once again.
Yep.
And for this one, I hate to do this to you folks, but the theme for this paint contest is going to be horses. So you must paint a mounted unit. They have to be horses. Okay, no camels.
No camels. No elephants.
No elephants. No stags or giant cats from Age of Magic. They have to be mounted on horses. Okay, so it can be a Hearthguard unit or a warrior unit or a levy unit. We know some levies out there are mounted. For this one though, in addition to painting it, I want the participants to indicate how long it took for them to paint it, to their best approximation, however you want to record that. So, it took me 2 hours per model, or, the whole unit took 8 hours, whatever unit of time you want to do. And then also indicate if you feel that you're a slow painter, a medium painter, or a fast painter, just so folks can factor that in. So what we're going to have, Monty, then is hopefully a decent selection of horses, and there'll be different results, but we'll be able to compare the time spent between them and maybe just kind of evaluate. I mean, this isn't really, I don't think that'll factor in for you and me for picking our favorite, but I think it'll be useful for just the people watching the video or whatever, if they really like a result, but, it takes 10 hours per horse, versus something not as good, but, speed painted or whatever, and it took 30 minutes a horse, something like that. I think that'd just be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
for everybody to go over. So it's going to be horses, and try to track your time as best you can. It doesn't need to be exact, but you will have until, let's see here, a long one. It'll be February 2nd. So it's a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, nearly 5 weeks. So it's a pretty long one. Get you painting these horses. So the way it works, all the rules and stuff will be posted below, but you will need to take a before picture, and that'll be me and Monty right now. Throw the thumbs up there, Monty, or thumbs down. Sorry. It's not painted yet. All right, so take a picture of the model in front of the screen here. This is the before, and then you'll post that to the Discord along with the finished result. Monty, we're good. Put those thumbs back up your butt.
Wow.
Where was I? Monty, you're throwing me off here with those thumbs.
I am. Okay.
All right. So you'll post it on the Discord, and please say how long it took. If you feel you're a fast, medium, or slow painter, as far as you're aware, and where the models came from. We're always guessing and trying to figure that out. But I think that should be pretty cool. We'll decide on a winner between me and Monty. Our favorite will be crowned champion, and they'll get a Thirsty Thursday mug or a pint glass. Now, Monty, I've done a run of 24 of those, and I'm going to keep one. So we're over halfway done. I think it's been 3 years since I had those. So one every 3 months. So these are limited edition Thirsty Thursday pint glasses, Monty.
Wow.
And people are running out of time to grab these. If that wasn't enough, there'll be a prize for one random entrant. So, you don't have to be the best to benefit from this. In the past, this has been Gripping Beast offering a gift certificate. We've got a new deal for 2025. I haven't heard from Andy. I emailed him over the holidays, so I haven't heard back as of this recording, but I got a hunch that they'll sponsor it once again, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I gotta follow up after the holidays here. I know the Beast closes down for a while, so I'm sure that's just what's going on here. So that should be fun time for everyone looking at these horses. And the Discord is where you're going to post that stuff. So get on the Discord if you haven't yet. Over 1,000 members, a lot of good chatting and stuff going on there. But I think that's going to be it for this episode, Monty.
It's a lot.
You say?
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Monty have talked about what we've done in 2024 and what our plans are for 2025. So if you people, I would love to hear about what everybody did themselves in 2024. I know you know, not a lot of people are as big as Saga fanatics as we are, so I'm sure there won't be 3 or 4 war bands necessarily, but maybe there are folks.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people paint a lot faster than I do, so maybe they have. And then what the big plans are for 2025. If you're going to be painting Age of Chivalry like us, or if you got some other plans in mind, I would just kind of love to hear what the plan is and see what the vibe is out there for Saga at the moment. So, all right, I think that'll be it, Monty. Right? It's a good one.
I think so.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Saga! If you'd like to see more Saga content, consider joining the Heathen Army over on Patreon or popping on down to the SAGA Thursday Discord server. Links below. Thanks, guys.